Well, good afternoon. Welcome to the summer semester. I realize that the spring semester barely ended, but here we are. And if you're in this class, I welcome you. We're going to be studying ethics over the next 8 weeks, actually 8 weeks and 2 days. And I'm very glad that you're here. This is the video that I like to do that gives you my expectations and an overview of the class. Um, I like to use the syllabus for it, so you should have printed your syllabus out and we can go over it together. But first, before we even start that, let's look at D2L together. Um, you know, one thing I always say to my students is if you have any questions, feel free to call me. My number is in the syllabus and I'll answer. Text me, email me. But the one pet peeve I have is when you ask a question that is clearly answered in either the syllabus or on D2L. So look, read your syllabus and look at every aspect of D2L. It should answer 99.9% of any question that you have. Other than that, feel free to contact me because, you know, my time is your time. And so, but read the syllabus and look at D2L first. The first thing that we have on D2L is a welcome, an announcement, the announcement section. Welcome to the Introduction to Ethics. Please take time to examine the course syllabus and calendar. Our textbook is as follows. Here is a hard copy, and you may have this one. Um, by the same token, you might have the electronic version. Either one is acceptable. You might have an older version, and that is also acceptable. Um, but you will have to do some pagination exploration. I'll explain that more as we get through it. So welcome to the class. My number is listed right there. My email is listed below it. There's also a link to the ebook. Now, this is, and I sent out an email yesterday, even though it's a little early, I sent it out so that any of you who purchased the ebook would know how to um, gain access to it. And there is a link to the ebook right on D2L. Again, I will probably have 2 or 3 students texting me asking me, um, does this apply to me? I have a hard copy. Well, no, it doesn't apply to you. It's pretty clear. There's an article, uh, don't strive to be great, strive to be consistent. You'll find this video um, also there. And you will find an announcement about a weekly attendance board. In order for me to track attendance, I've made a discussion board titled Weekly Attendance. Each of you will need to make a post each week in the appropriate discussion forum saying present. It's easy to do, and it lets me know who is in fact keeping up. If you don't post, I will subtract 1 point from your overall score. And since this is a 100-point class, 1 point, especially if added up over 8 weeks, that's almost an entire letter grade. So please post each week. Now, that being said, if you don't post this first week, there are 3 assignments that I expect you to do this week. the first week of class. One, post in the attendance board. Two, download the syllabus and read it. And three, watch this video. Now, if you don't do those things, I will have to drop you for non-participation next Monday morning. So please do those three things this week. It's not a whole lot. It's very easy to do. So anyway, that is the welcome template. So go to content, because you'll see up in the top content, materials, communications, assessments, etc. Go to content. You click it. It's not real fast today. And then table of contents. Click on it, and everything comes up. First off, you'll see the syllabus and schedule. Download it. I would print it out. The instructor info, it just gives you a little bit of information about me. I've been with Northwest Technical College for 20 years, teaching ethics and bioethics and occasionally anthropology. I lived in Bemidji for almost 20 years before settling down south. I'm in sunny Knoxville, Tennessee, and loving it. Besides teaching, I'm also a nurse, and I work for Cherokee Health Systems. I also am a pastor, and I recently shifted from the Southern Baptist Convention to the United Methodist Church. And I'm retired military. My name is David. You can call me David. You can call me Dr. Myers. You can call me anything as long as it's not late to supper. I know, bad dad humor. I have 6 children and 10 grandchildren and 2 dogs. We recently lost 2 of our dogs. We had 4. At any rate, so there's some information about me there. And then you'll also see this video. Click on it. You must have already clicked on it in some place because you're watching it. Under assignments, you will see ethics problems. You will see section 1, ethic problems, section 2, and section 3. What these are Word documents already made up for you. Already made up for you. You can cut and paste and then answer the questions. But let's look under the section ethics problems. Boom.
The student will choose one of the ethics problems found in each section. Each question is fairly complex and will require between 4 to 5 pages, double-spaced, to answer completely. Keep in mind that this corresponds to the 11th edition. If you have an earlier edition, you will not be able to find these, so I have included them in the content section. Even if you have the 11th edition, you may want to use what I have included as a template. Pick the problem you want, delete the rest. These assignments are worth 10 points each, and are in lieu of a term paper assignment. Therefore, you will need to put a great deal of effort into the assignments. Proper English grammar is expected, and there should be no foul language or text speak included. To successfully complete the assignment, you must answer each of the questions asked from your chosen ethics problem. Please note, papers shorter than 4 pages will be marked down. When your assignment is completed, place it into the appropriate assignment folder. Section 1. Choose one of the following. This assignment is due no later than 1 June. Chapter 1, Ethics Problem. Why be moral? On page 28. Chapter 2, Ethics Problem. Would you throw the switch? On page 44. Chapter 3, Ethics Problem. Would you kill for the sake of duty? On page 59. Chapter 4, Ethics Problem Bullying. What should you do? On page 75. Section 2, choose one of the following. This assignment is due no later than 15 June. Chapter 5, Ethics Problem. Is lies of samurai culture or ethics relative? On page 89. Chapter 6, Ethics Problem. Freedom and control. Are freedom and human happiness incompatible? On page 104. Chapter 7, Ethics Problem. Who gets to stay on the lifeboat? On page 136. Chapter 8, there is no ethics problem for this chapter. Section 3, choose one of the following. This assignment is due no later than 6 July. Chapter 9, Ethics Problem. Is suicide always wrong? The Suicide of ADM. Nimitz on page 17. Chapter 10, Ethics Problem. Did medical personnel kill patients in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina? On page 212. Chapter 11, Ethics Problem. Fictional counterexamples and abortion. On page 232. Chapter 12, Ethics Problem. Cheating, kinda cheating, collaboration, or creative ethical problem solving? On page 258.
All right, so that is the ethics problems. It's pretty clear, pretty concise. Um, the dates are given in the syllabus for this particular uh, class session over the summer. These dates are absolutely correct. Um, I'm trying to make one that I can reuse. And so this is for summer 2024. If you're taking this class in fall 2024, the dates will be in the syllabus, but they won't be as read by our good friend Siri or whatever her name is. So that is ethics problems. Go back to content, table of contents, and we see these section 1 ethics problems, 2 ethics problems, 3. Now, there's always a student who doesn't pay attention and will answer all of them. You only need to choose one. Must be at least 4 pages just of content. You could throw in a fancy title page, but you don't have to, and it doesn't count towards the total page count. But also bear in mind it needs to be double spaced, and so it's not really that long of an assignment. Each of these is worth 10 points, so 30% of your grade comes from the ethics problems. Now, say you don't want to do these particular problems. I have an alternate assignment options. If you click on that on D2L, I'm going to play Siri again.
When I offered this class as a lecture course, I used videos all the time. If you would rather watch a panel discussion on a moral dilemma, and then write a 4 to 5 page essay on the video, here's a link to the series, Annenberg Media Group Ethics in America. I have another option for you. I have several movies on a Plex server that you may choose to watch and write an essay about in lieu of the other assignments. This will be a little more complicated, but is still fairly easy. You will need to set up a Plex account. It is free, safe, and can be found here, Plex TV. Then you will need to email me with your Plex user ID, and I will give you access. Here's a list of the films that I have up. The Death of Stalin, Animal Farm, Doctor, Strangelove, and the entire Ethics in America 2 series. The 3 films fit in especially well in Chapter 6. The Annenberg films, and the older series is better, can be applied at any point. And there you have it. Of course, you can watch whatever films you wish simply to further your knowledge on the topic, or just for your enjoyment.
So there's an alternative option. Watch one of the films. I assure you, you will enjoy them. The Death of Stalin it's a very dark comedy, but it's historical fiction, more historical than fiction. Animal Farm, Dr. Strangelove, I used to show it each semester, and I have them all up on a Plex server. And so you could choose to watch them. That's an alternative assignment or assignments. And here's instructions for discussion boards. Note, discussion boards are separate from the board where the attendance board. Instructions for discussion board. We'll let her read it again.
Each student will begin 2 separate threads for each section and respond to 4 other threads per section. This means that for each section, at least 2 original posts and 4 responses are required. That is 6 total posts per section. The student is also required to read all of the texts. This will help get the student more involved with his/her classmates and help make the material more practical. Finally, let me reiterate, students are required to read all postings if they wish to receive full credit. This does not include the attendance boards. These postings are due by the last day of each test cycle.
Right, so there you have it. The discussion board is also there's 3 sections, and each section is worth 10 points, so it's 30% of your grade. There's always some students that refuse to post, and then they wonder why their grade is not where they want it to be. You have to make the postings, and you have to read the postings to get all of the credit. Going back, let's talk about the exams, which are another 30% of your grade.
The
You know what? I'm going to read this one. The exams are designed to cover one section, 4 chapters each. The exams will be open for a 6-day period, Monday through Saturday. The exams may be taken at any time during the open period. They will be open for 60 minutes, after which they will close automatically. Hey, they're open book, but they are not open note, which means you may not print the answers from the practice tests for use during the exam. There are no proctors required and no passwords. By submitting the exam, each student is giving their word of honor that they have not cheated. Cheating is grounds for immediate failure of the course. And then exam 1 and exam 2 and exam 3, the dates are listed here and they're listed in the syllabus. Now, the exams are tough, and you think, oh no, but they're open note, open book. There's a lot of ground to cover in 4 chapters. You will not have time to look up each answer. However, I don't want you worried constantly about passing the exams, and so there are practice tests for each chapter. What you see is what you get. If you take the practice tests, you will see what will be on the exam. It's that simple, you know. Now, I only put 10 questions from each chapter, and there are more than that in the practice tests, but still, take the practice tests until you've got it in your noodle, and you will do extremely well. There's always someone that will refuse to take the practice tests the first cycle, and then they won't do well, and then they'll go back and start doing the practice tests. So those are the exams. So 90% of your grade comes from the ethics written assignments, the discussion boards, and the exams. The other 10 points comes from required reading. All you need to do at the end of the course, not during the course, at the end of the course, is fill out a document telling me what percentage of the reading you have completed. If you completed 8.5% or 85%, write that down. and you'll get 8.5 points, or 100 points, or 20 points, whatever you tell me. This is due at the end of the course. Don't break it down by chapter and tell me I completed 60% of chapter 1 and 80%. Just tell me the overall percentage that you completed for the entire course. There is almost always at least one student that does not turn this assignment in. That's an entire letter grade, so don't let it be you. That breaks down the assignments for the course. Now, if you want to look at instructions for extra credit, say you blow an exam because you did not take the practice tests. No problem. Go back, open your exam, explain the questions that you missed, turn it into the appropriate assignment folder, and say you got a 40 on the exam. If you turn the extra credit in, I will bump it up to a 70. Now, if you got a 70 and you still want higher, turn it in and I'll bump it up to an 80. If you got an 80, I'll bump it up to a 90. If you got a 90, don't turn an assignment in because I'm only going to bump it up 2.5 points because an A is an A is an A is an A. However, it's almost always the students that got an A in the class that want to turn in the extra credit. And then at the end of the class, we are only doing chapters 1 through 12, but there are 16 chapters. For a possible 5 points, write a synopsis of chapters 13 through 16. Discuss the topics in general, then give and justify your own opinion. The assignment will be between 4 and 5 pages, and I will give you an extra 5 points. That's extra credit. And we go back. That is the assignment section. You also have the chapter PowerPoints. You are certainly welcome to use those. I'd like to tell you that I made them, but I didn't. They come with the textbook. I used to make them, but I don't any longer. I'm going to go back, and you will see the textbook chapters. Chapters 1 through 4, section 1. I have printed them all out for you because some of you won't get your textbooks right away. If that's the case, you can use these. These are all the 11th edition, and I can't give you any more ethically than 4 chapters. You must buy a textbook. But this will help for those of you who ordered a little bit late. And then let's go back to content one more time. And then I've made lectures for each chapter. You can certainly, and I would strongly advise you to watch these lectures. They're usually no more than half an hour in length, and they might help tie everything together for you. All right, so that's content. You go to materials, and you click content, and you get the same thing. Go to communications, and you'll see announcements, you'll see class list, discussions. Go to the discussions, and you'll see a place for general discussions where if you just want to talk about something or ask a question of your classmates or of me, then you'll see section 1, section 2, section 3, and below that, the weekly attendance board. This is where you sign on each week. Be sure to sign on right away. It's absolutely crucial if you want to remain in the class that you sign on. All right, then you can go to assessments, and go to assignments, and you will see section 1 ethics problem, section 2 ethics problem, and so on. Go to assessments again, and grades, and quizzes, and you'll find the grades, the grading section, and the quiz section. That is a quick overview of D2L. Everything that we have said is also written in the syllabus. Again, your 3 assignments that are due by the end of the first week are download the syllabus. And I'll know if you have or not because it gives me a completed or a non-completed. Sign in the attendance board. Again, I'll know if you have because if you haven't, it will tell me non-completed. And also, let's see, attendance board, syllabus, watch this video. And I'll know if you've completed the assignment or not. And so that pretty much gives you all of my expectations in a nutshell. One other thing is check your email daily. That way, if I need to contact you, you will know it. And I will contact you at least once a week, sometimes multiple times during the week. If you have questions and you want to give me a call, as I said, my number's there. Bear in mind, I do work during the week in a clinic, and I work from 7:30 until 5. Uh, so I would, if you text me during the day, I will pop you an answer if possible, or I'll say, hey, I'll address this when I get home. If you call, I will attempt to answer, but if you wait until after 5, 4 o'clock your time, then you'll get me. I go to bed fairly early, so try to call between 5 and 8:30. And then on Sunday, I'm in the pulpit um, until at least 1. And so try not to call Sunday morning. Um, but other than that, I will respond fairly quickly. I look forward to having you in my class. Students never want to call. And when they do, they always say something like, I'm so sorry to bother you. Listen, I have a job because of you. Um, you are no bother. Your time is my time. Feel free to call if you have a question. If you begin to fall behind, students seem to think this is going to be a really easy course, but the reading is brutal and the tests are hard. That being said, I don't expect you to master the material. When you write your reading report, all you need to do is say, I read chapters 1 through 12, 100% completed, something like that. You don't need to tell me, well, I skimmed them. I'm not sure I understood. Philosophy is difficult reading, and ethics is a branch of philosophy. And so I don't expect you to master it. This is a freshman, sophomore level course. I just expect you to read it. And some of you will have the e-text and it will read it for you. And so that counts as having read the assignment. If you read the assignment, watch my lectures, and do the practice tests, you will do very well on the exams. Again, don't count on it being open book. That's not going to help you that much. And I don't I don't want you printing out the answers to the practice tests. That's shooting fish in a barrel. That's too easy. Um, by taking this class, I expect your honest behavior. I expect you to behave with integrity. This is an ethics course. And so there you have it. Uh, have a great evening. Well, you won't even see this till tomorrow. Have a great semester. Bye bye.